rookie graduations this year. So, or this week, we're gonna do that. Um, and I did really like this past year's class, and then the upcoming class. I'm really excited about the top of it. I still haven't really learned about like the mid lottery picks, the late first rounders. Haven't really learned about them yet. All right,
Yeah.
Sheldon, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Pat? How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, honestly. Catching up on Blazers, Mavs from last night, but
Oh, that was a good one.
you watched it live.
Yeah, I watched that one live, and then watched the Hawks, or I watched some of that Bulls Jazz game, some of
Yes,
the some of the Hawks Suns game. It's crazy basketball last night, randomly.
your guy Keontae went off last night.
Yeah, Keontae's looking good this season. Jazz are. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We will talk about the Jazz. Anyway, anything you want to touch on before we get started? Can be completely random. Doesn't even have to be about the episode.
Um, no, I think I'm good. Um, yeah, I'm
People
good.
have to people have to know. Have you found the controller yet?
I did find the controller. Yes, it appeared randomly um, under my bed, even though I looked there. But I did find it, so
Let's
uh,
go.
we will be finally doing the video very soon. Very soon.
I
So
did provide some content for the
thank you, thank you.
fiends. Yeah, I set up my Warriors rotation
Nice.
Thursday night, so uh, it's all right though. We'll probably do it again this Thursday night if I had to guess. Um, and yeah, that'll be they'll get to be introduced to your Washington Wizards. I also went through and added like all injuries that had happened.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so I mean, I had a bunch of shit to set up with it anyway, but we're good now.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the screen sharing went smoothly on.
Okay.
So I really was expecting that to be a much bigger hassle than it was, but
Uh huh.
screen sharing was good. Um, we won't be able to like. I doubt we'll be able to. I mean, you could also. I don't know. That might be. I don't know the power of your laptop, but
Not that crazy.
all right. So probably not worth trying it on yours.
I might. We'll see.
It might fry
We can
your
troubleshoot
laptop.
it. Might fry the laptop
Yeah.
a while.
Well, maybe. Do you see? I have like a gaming laptop that's set up for gaming. Don't use it for any gaming, really. But
Yeah, mine is a like $200 Lenovo laptop.
okay.
Um, yeah, I used to have this really nice gaming computer in like sixth grade for some reason. I
Uh,
That was very strange. Just but
who broke it?
I broke it.
Oh,
Bro, I was in sixth grade. Come on,
of course.
you can barely keep up with my laptops now. This is even like 10 times worse back then.
I mean, shit. The controller was missing.
The
Like,
controller was missing. It was found though. It got caught up in some blankets.
mm. Anyway, we will be getting started. We're recapping weeks 3 and 4. Obviously, we'll always talk about stuff
You want
that's
to do a
happened
trivia
prior.
question, Pat?
You're always cooking with that. You always have the trivia
Gotta
question.
make sure.
What do we got?
This one's a little um it strays away from the usual path of NBA questions, so but all right, Pat. To improve the pace of play, this is a very important rule that was introduced. The NBA added the shot clock, the 24-second shot clock. Do you know what year this new rule and the shot clock was introduced?
Hmm. See, I feel like this is a. I can't remember if the shot clock was adapted from the ABA. Um, I know the 3 point line was. I know like the dunk contest and 3 point contest were. Um, I can't remember if the shot clock was though. I'm going to say this was, and it was adopted in '78.
All right, Pat. I thought you were about to nail it because you were bringing up the ABA. I thought you were cooking. 1954. So yeah,
Whoa.
it was introduced pretty early. Um, yeah,
Okay.
improved. Yeah, introduced in 1954 because of the stalling issue that we see in high school basketball a lot. I'm like shocked that I don't. I when we used, Pat, when we used to go to the Drew basketball games, teams would always do that. It'd be like the most like stupid thing ever. Like, that was so annoying.
Yeah, it was. I I feel like on higher level high school basketball, it wouldn't be that big of a difficulty to implement, but um, it's not how they do it. Um, shout out to high school basketball. Don't make it to any games really that much anymore. But
It's probably a good thing.
on this main screen here, we got a couple of storylines by themselves.
Yes.
Um, we have the OKC Thunder with their 13-1 start. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's there. He's having a great season once again. And you have these Nikola Jokic stats that are popping up in front of you. This is over like the last I think that's 8 games. He's been going absolutely ridiculous.
And
Maybe this is a
he
little
dropped
bit of a
50.
preview for your ladder, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna say he dropped 50 2 games ago, as you can see there. Um, insane. And what I think the Clippers wanted him to score, and Ty Lue was said, I didn't think he was going to score 50. Maybe that will be a player in some NBA quotes later down the road if we do that again, because I think that's just pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Just a little bit more. He's averaging 28, 13, and 11 on let's see, what is this true shooting at? Um, 79 or 77. So, what a start to the season for Nikola Jokic. I'm sure he'll make a appearance later on your MVP ladder. I have a whole slide dedicated to it, so we're ready on that. We're going to use this section to talk about either OKC or Denver, however we want. What do we got?
I mean, let's Uh, let's start in Denver. We'll start in Denver because we were just talking about Nikola Jokic, and I'll start with a negative. Cam Johnson. I mean, I don't know what is going on, Pat. This is looking like a terrible trade for the Nuggets, and we were so high on it, and I know I especially was because I was expected Cam Johnson to come in and do what he was known to be doing and being like a 3-point shooter, 3 and D wing. Pat, he's shooting 20% this season, and he's averaging 7 points per game. And is he out of the starting lineup now? He might be.
Gee, I think he has an injury currently.
Yeah. All right. Okay. He still was playing. He's still been playing high minutes, but yeah, I think like the fact that this team is 10-2, and then Cam Johnson is struggling this much, just goes to show like how improved this team is, and like really how nasty they are. Aaron Gordon is continuing his like career resurgence with the Nuggets. He's having a great season, averaging 19, 5 boards, shooting the lights out as well from the 3 point line. And Jamal Murray, you kind of mentioned it. I forget in what episode. Maybe it was the preseason, like look up or preseason predictions, conference standings, and whatnot. Murray, we know he can show up in the playoffs. Can he do anything in the regular season? And it's looking like he can, Pat, averaging 22, 6, and 5. Um, he's shooting the ball really well. He's making great playmaking decisions. Tim Hardaway is having a great season too. Christian Braun, and I think Jonas Valanciunas is playing some of the best basketball he has played in recent years. Like levels above what he was doing in Washington and Sacramento last season. And he's proving like a good backup big. And I don't know if you have the numbers, but I feel like this team is definitely a lot better when Jokic is off the floor compared to last season when Jokic was off the floor, which was one of their biggest problems.
I'll say this. Cam Johnson, I went and looked. I watched the Minnesota game the other day, so I was like, I'm pretty sure he was just hurt. He's only missed one game so far, and it was that Minnesota game. And he started all of the games that he has played.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure he's dealing with something. Um, And then, like you mentioned it, the Nikola Jokic off the floor minutes. I've already pulled those up. Those were a huge discussion point during the offseason, during last season, even. When Nikola Jokic is on the floor, they're outscoring opponents by 19 points per 100 possessions. When Nikola Jokic is off the floor, they're getting outscored by 1.5 points per 100 possessions. Notable of the A notable part of this, their defense is better with Nikola Jokic on the floor, and overall on the season, the Denver Nuggets have the third-rated defense in the NBA
Wow.
at the current
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Um, that's huge for them. That's huge for them.
Watching them live, huge takeaways that they played a lot of zone in the playoffs last season, and they've kind of carried that over into this season. And the zone's just been so key for them because they consistently have Nikola Jokic just parked at the rim. And he's such a great defensive rebounder. When he's on the floor, they're, rebounding 77% of the misses. That's 3% higher than when he's off the floor. But I mean, they're still rebounding 74% of their misses, which is still really good. Um, you mentioned Valanciunas. I think their bench acquisitions have helped them more on offense than on defense. I can quickly go back and pull up Jokic's on-offs from last year. I think it's slightly improved, but it's still like a 20-point swing. I guess it was a 20-point swing last season as well. So it's about in line still, but I mean it has visibly looked better, and I mean I'm sure if Cam Johnson isn't shooting terribly right now, it's probably like a 16-point swing instead of a 19-point swing like it was last year. I think it's been a really promising start to the season, and the defense is kind of the key too. Like they've been so good defensively. They kind of figured out that they can, play Peyton Watson a lot with Nikola Jokic, despite Peyton Watson still being bad offensively. They figured they can do that. Christian Brown has recently he has like a multi-week injury. I know that for sure. It's about 5 weeks. He's gonna miss some time. And you mentioned Jamal Murray. He looks really awesome. Like he looks like the best I've kind of ever seen him in a regular season. And it's not just like, oh, he's making more shots. He looks much more spry getting to the rim. Like he's always been a great finisher, but he just hasn't been able to get to the rim as frequently as he previously had. And like he's been so great. Watching him, just to go at Rudy Gobert consistently in the Minnesota game was great, and that was also a great game to watch as well. I'm not sure if you got to that one, but um, yeah, it's been a great start. Anything else on Denver? If Do we think the defense jump this year? How real do we think it is?
I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer because I think last episode I kind of jumped. I jumped on the Bulls hype train. They have had like a really tough stretch. Uh, on their I think let's see, yeah, they're a 5 game losing streak. They played the Pistons, Spurs, Cavs, Bucks, and the Jazz. The Jazz being like the real like annoying loss, I would say, if you're a Bulls fan. But I mean, I'm sure maybe we'll speak on the Jazz a little bit coming up. But yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see if the defense continues to be this high, if they continue to have success doing the things that they are trying to do. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off a little bit on it.
Yeah, the Bulls have had a rough stretch. Well, I give it a couple weeks or so before I really believe the Nuggets are like a good defense, but they look better than they had been. And we kind of knew that like they were going to be better if they played zone more. Now they're doing it every game in the regular season basically, and not sure how that's going to translate when teams have seen them multiple times and know the intricacies of their zone. I think a really interesting one is regardless of what they're doing, man versus zone, Jokic is just kind of parked right above the free throw line. Um, so that's been a fun wrinkle, and I'll see how they play that. We'll move to OKC because they've been off to an excellent start. They're 13-1. Jalen Williams has yet to play a game. Are we surprised that he's not going to be All NBA eligible? No, because Sam Presti is a sick man, and he knows the value of saving that $3 million for Jalen Williams. Um, but yeah, I mean they've been great. 13-1. What do we think?
I mean, I think that they're continuing from where they left off last season. They're the best team in the league right now, and you mentioned like they have a lot of shortcomings, like things that I think we didn't expect from this Thunder team to have. Jalen Williams not playing a multiple amount of games. Lou Dort kind of just falling off offensively, and him now being injured, and his 3-point shot not being there. But I mean, honestly, it just goes to show you how great of a player SGA is. He's averaging 32 points per game, and he's barely playing in the fourth quarter. I think the stat I saw today was like 404 points. Or hold on, I'll bring up the stats later after you start talking on Thunder. But he's having it in like the Thunder are blowing teams out, and he's still averaging 30, and he's barely playing in the fourth quarter. Chet Holmgren is off to another amazing start. He's averaging 19 and 8. And I think the biggest thing I love about this Thunder team is AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell, like his ability to bring up the ball is just it adds another element to the game because it allows SGA to try to find space off ball, make cuts off ball, or for them to get him screens in certain matchups that they want to do. And AJ Mitchell, like he's not only just a playmaker, he's third on the team in scoring pat. He's averaging 16 and 3.9, pretty much 4 assists per game. Their shooter Andrew Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. I mean, these might be their version of the Splash Brothers. These guys are knockdown shooters from three. They're both shooting above 40%. Isaiah Hardenstein is continuing to be just a really great rebound getter, screen setter, and float maker. They're getting, and then you just have all the defense like Lou Dort, Caruso, Kason Wallace. All those guys are doing great things defensively. And like even some of the guys that barely even get minutes, like Barnheiser and Youngblood, they come in there and do their thing. This team is like really deep, and they have like a couple, and they're not even at full strength. And some of their shooters who were contributing last season aren't doing it, and they're still the best team in the league by far, and it's not even a question. And a lot of it has to do with SGA and just the players they have around them. Like this team is gross. It's going to be so hard to compete with this team at any point in the season.
Not to go unmentioned, Chet Holmgren is taking a step forward.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of that comes with more shot attempts, but I mean, even efficiency-wise, he's taken a huge step forward. He's shooting almost 58% from the field this season compared to last season where he was under 50. He's been great. Shot making's been so much better this season. I mean, Chet's like probably going to be an All NBA guy at the end of the season. If he keeps playing like this, he's going to make All NBA at the end of the year. Especially if the Thunder are going to win 78 games, and yeah, they're going to have to give them another All NBA player. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins are both averaging 15 a game, and then you mentioned AJ Mitchell, geez, averaging almost 17 a game. All of those guys are coming off the bench. They're getting a ton of
Yeah.
bench production, and that helps when they have like Dort, Caruso, as guys, and like even Hartenstein as guys who are like purely play finishers. I think those three guys have been so awesome for them. I think not only are like Wiggins and Isaiah Joe good spot up shooters, they're also really good movement shooters. And it just adds dimensions to their offense. We talked about their screening game 2 years ago as their innovations with ghost screens being like game breaking. They're kind of having to lean back into that a little bit more with less shot creation on the floor. And it's just pressure makes diamonds. And Mark Dagnall is a diamond for sure. He absolutely has done a great job. Do we think that they are going to win 74 more games?
I think this could be the team to do it.
I think so too.
I think this team could do it, honestly.
I think the only thing that's going to stop them is an SGA injury, or like I don't even know. Like even if they lose Chet for a while, like I feel like is if SGA plays enough games, like I don't know, if he only misses like
7,
8
8.
games,
Yeah.
because Sam Presti's going to make sure he sits out the right games. Right. He loves sitting out a couple games. Have we talked about that they do own the Jazz and the Clippers picks?
Yeah. And that Clippers pick is looking really, really good right now.
Should we go ahead and give the Clippers their like 10 minutes before we don't talk about them for the
Yeah.
rest of the year?
Yeah. Let's talk about it, Pat. I was high on them coming in. I thought that they were going to have some success from last season. I was excited about Chris Paul being able to come in, come off the bench, do great things for him, get open looks. Excited about Kawhi. And then just none of that's. I was happy. I was excited about John Collins as well. And then everything's kind of just not going right for the Clippers right now. Kawhi's missed. I mean, I haven't seen Kawhi play in like weeks. Um, John Collins is he's struggling a little bit in that starter role. Like he's only averaging 12 points per game, and getting 4 rebounds. And then like Bradley Beal, we talked about the Bradley Beal signing. He's out for the year. He's not going to be here. Chris Paul's not playing anymore. I don't know what's happening there, but Chris Paul, he's not getting any minutes at all. Barely getting even any games. Coming off the bench even. So that's another acquisition that I thought may have had an impact. That's just not having one. Like some of the guys that they have just to be pure shooters, like Bogdan. I mean, he's shooting good. He's only averaging 9. Derek Jones, great defensive player, but not a guy that you want to have as like one of your better scorers on your team. Brooke Lopez has kind of been struggling as well, a little bit. They're just not getting a lot of scoring. They're struggling to score. James Harden is having another great year though. Uh,
Of course. Ivica Zubats as well. I think defensively it's been a slight step back, but his offense is just as good as it was in the past season. I think Bradley Beal, I was really like, oh my God, this guy's gonna make me look like an idiot because we were like, oh, Bradley Beal's like he's not that much worse than Norman Powell. And then Norman Powell's about to make the All-Star game, and Bradley Beal was averaging 8 points on 34% shooting. And then they mentioned that he has a hip injury that means he's out for the season. And I'm like, okay, so he had the Isaiah Thomas hip. We we couldn't have predicted that at least. But yeah, Bradley Beal was really, really bad in the time that he was playing. It was more than just missing shots. He's like his defense was like horrendous, even worse than it was in Phoenix. Like it was so much worse. Um, so that sucks. And now Chris Paul, I believe that he was getting DMPs, and then they also ruled him out with an injury. I think they were guilty for the aspiration stuff. This is part of their punishment.
yeah,
Um, I mean, it's gotta be like this is brutal. I mean, do we even? I don't want to talk about them anymore. They're
no,
embarrassing me. Um, I believe I did range them to be as low as the 7 seed, so they still have some time to like save me. But um,
I might be screwed.
do you remember what your lower range was for them?
I don't even. No, I think I had him like top 5 though.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's gonna hit.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's our talk on the Clippers. However, we do need them to win games so OKC doesn't get a top pick. I'll move. I remember what the next slide is, so we'll stick on this slide for just a little bit longer, because you wanted to talk about Utah, and it is related to OKC. They will send over a top 8 protected pick to the OKC Thunder. So as long as it's 9 through 30, the OKC Thunder will get the Jazz pick. They're off to a promising start to the season. We talked about their game last night against Chicago. That was pretty exciting. What do you want to say about Utah? Because I know you're excited.
Yeah, I think this team is comp, Pat. Like this isn't like pushover wins anymore. This is a team that's finding scoring. They had 150 points against the Pacers the other night. They had 150 against the Bulls tonight. I mean, or last night. I know it was double overtime, but still, they're not losing to teams by a lot anymore, Pat. When you see them go up against teams like the Timberwolves, like they're only losing by like 7. I mean, we're used to Jazz teams getting absolutely blown out even though they did get blown out of the game before, they're still winning a lot of close games. Uh, and I think a lot of it has to do with Larry Markkinen. He's really playing up. I don't know if he's playing up to his contract per se, but I think he's playing very well this season. He looks unstoppable, really. They give it to him down the stretch every time. He had 45 last night, I think. Let me double check because he may have gotten a little more. 47 points. I mean, his last three games 47, 40, and 35. He's scoring at an absolute great rate, and he's shooting the ball well from three. Keontae George, man, this kid has insane confidence. Watching the Bulls game last night, going down the stretch, he's driving to the paint, making tough like scoop layups on Vooch. Uh, yeah, scoop layups. Hitting threes. He's a really good 3-point shooter. He's kind of struggling this season, but he was hitting some big ones last night. He's averaging 22 points per game. They're getting good production from Isaiah Collier, and I think he's just coming off the bench. Um, Walter Clayton's also shooting well. This team defensively, Walker Kessler, a guy who I kind of said might be on fraud watch, he's been stepping up in a great way. He's averaging 14 and 10. Um, maybe could be a movable asset for the Jazz now. Nurkic too. Nurkic was coming up big. He's made himself
Let's
a
go.
serviceable big man again. He had a couple big blocks and rebounds down the stretch on help defense too. So this team is this team's exciting. It's a little fun to see the Jazz like competitive. They're 5-8 right now, but for the Jazz, that's pretty damn good. I think this is a team that can be competitive. Sensabaugh as well. Sensabaugh is a really good shooter. 3-point shooter, can drive to the basket too. Strong guy. Yeah, I just a little light on the Jazz. They're going to be a pretty. I mean, they might be able to make a play in this season. I don't know. Maybe like a 10-9 seed.
I will pump the brakes on one thing with that.
Oh,
Yusuf Nurkic has been quite terrible.
oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah, he's been quite terrible. He did step up last night though. I will that is very true. Um, Kessler missing some time so far to start the season.
that's why Nurk's
Uh,
playing so much.
yes, that's why Big Nurk's been playing. All 13 games started for them so far this season. Keontae George, Larry Markkinen, and Svi Mikhailuk.
Yeah,
Awesome. One of our contenders for least controversial player in the NBA. Came short to Unk Temple, so I mean, we all would come short to
massive
Unk
upset.
Temple. Yeah. Collier has, that was one of my dubs last season. He wasn't necessarily good as a rookie, but he played in one of the worst classes of all time as a late first round pick. He played, and he's taken a step forward this year. Way less turnovers. He's shooting better. It's only through 5 games, but he's looked pretty strong. And then him and Keontae George, were able to play off each other the other night, as Collier was forced into the starting and closing lineups. So that's pretty strong to see so far. You'll never find someone who likes Walter Clayton more than me. He hasn't been off to a great start, but I believe in Walter Clayton long term. There's something. I think Will Hardy, it can't be underestimated, his ability to create shots for role players as well as their star player Larry Markkinen. Last season, only 66% of his 2-point attempts were assisted. That's about where his career averages were. But in his really good Utah seasons, they were a little bit higher, and now he's up to about 78% of his 2-point attempts being assisted. That's really good to see. He's shooting 58% on corner threes, which is, let's go. Easy looks. We like to see it. And then, he's just overall been a lot better, a lot more like not long, short mid range attempts compared to before. Um, his long mid ranges are slightly up as well. He's gotten more 2-point at the rim attempts. Like he's increased his shooting volume everywhere except from 3-point range, which has been an interesting story. A lot of it is because he's getting a lot more assisted 2-point attempts right now, playing off these guards. Because Keontae George, he hasn't been crazy efficient, but he averages 22 a game and demands a ton of attention from other teams, and he's passed the ball really well. I think having these guards and having Will Hardy cook up plays has been really big for Lowry. Do we think he's going to stick around long term? Or are they going? Is this a pump and dump?
I I mean, I think if they fizzle out and it comes All Star time and he's still putting up these numbers, but they're pretty much a lock to get a draft pick, they should trade him away. But if they want to build something in Utah, which they low key could, I don't know how many years is left on his contract.
Like a million. I'm pretty. It just started this year,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, I feel like it would make sense for him to move.
I think a good team will love Larry Markkinen,
Yeah.
and perhaps that good team is on this next slide. You wanna transition forward to that? Yeah, people are gonna love this slide. Uh, Detroit is back, baby.
Yeah.
Um, I I think we both like Detroit as a top 5 seed this season in the East. Um, they're off to a great start. I mentioned Larry Morgan. I think he'd be a great fit there. Yeah, they've been off to a great start. I believe they are 11-2 so far this season, and that is correct. They're 11-2, top of the Eastern Conference. Their offense has been about where it was last season, but their defense has jumped all the way up to second in the NBA. Now, I will talk about their MVP level leap that has allegedly happened from Cade Cunningham. It has not quite happened. He's had a lot of struggles with efficiency, and that is why you can be more promising or you can be more believing in their offense going forward because Cade is, shooting 29% from the three-point line right now. He's still scoring at volume at 27 and a half a game. So it's looking like Cade's going to score 30 a game this season, and he's going to average 30 and 10, which is still amazing. So maybe that is an MVP level leap if he can normalize the shot making. Um, yeah, what do you want to start with on Detroit from your end?
Yeah. Not only has Cade Cunningham had such a big jump, but I think Jalen Duren having a big jump, not only offensively but defensively, has helped them out so much. Like the rim protection that he's bringing to this team is huge. Deterring shots at the rim. He's averaging a block a game. It's hard to get shots up on this defense, and the defense is the things you're going to talk about with the Pistons. I mean, it's one of the reasons that they're on this 9 game win streak. They're 11-2. They're at the top of the Eastern Conference, and they're second in the league, like you said. Um, they just need to continue doing that. Pat, do you want to talk about the defense at all? Some of the things that you've been seeing.
Yeah, so like it's hard to really pin it to one guy on the team. You go and look at the on-off swings, and with Thompson and Duran, they're pretty like zero like net impact on if you look at the on off on defense. They've been going to double big a little bit more than they had over at least last season. They did it a
Like
lot more.
like Stuart Duran or
Yeah,
Stuart Byrne. Okay.
they've been starting that, but even like Isaiah Stewart doesn't have a like strong on court a defensive indication. So like they've just overall been a good defensive team throughout the entire team. And it's been really like they're playing as a team. It's like the most simple way to put it. They're getting a lot of offensive load from Cade. A lot of Jalen Duren's offense is coming straight from Cade, and he's been awesome on the offensive end. He's averaging 19 a game. He was my prediction for the one-time All-Star. And it's looking like that could come true, but not for the exact reason I expected it to. I expected Asar Thompson to like carry them on defense, and that would be why they get a second All-Star. But you know, the whole defense has been good. It hasn't been Asar Thompson carrying them on defense because they're like basically like I think they're a point better even when Asar Thompson's on the bench, which is kind of negligible at this point in the season. But yeah, it's just been such a great start from the team, and like Cade Cunningham's not shooting well so far. Jaden Ivey hasn't played a basketball game this season. I think this is a pretty real like this is going to be a top 4 seed at the end of the year. Like I'm willing to lock it in. I don't see any way that doesn't happen now.
Yeah, and how about Dennis Jenkins these past couple games? He's been balling for them, coming nice little guard action, shooting really well from three.
Yeah, 55%. from Mr. Dennis. I don't know if we even mentioned him for a split second in the
No,
Pistons video.
he's kind of just appeared on the scene.
Yeah, additionally, Karis LeVert's, played pretty well so far to start the season. We love Karis LeVert here. They still are getting production from Tobias Harris. It hasn't been great. He's missed a couple of games. Ron Holland started some for them. He comes in and makes games ugly, well, in a good and a bad way. So, yeah, that's been awesome. And they do have, basically like grown up version of Ron Holland and Javonte Green doing the exact same thing, making the Pistons offense ugly and the opponent's offense ugly. Yeah, but I mean, it's just been good. How much do we expect Cade to turn it around? Because I think there will be some baked in inefficiency with just the style of play here with Detroit. Because I mean, I'll have to pull up his exact usage, but I would imagine it's through the roof. Uh,
32.3 is what I got
yeah, that's
for
like
usage.
that's basically top of the league. Um, I am currently
I
frozen
would
on.
definitely double check that. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
oh
I'm currently frozen on Cade Cunningham's basketball reference page. So,
yeah, and Duncan Robinson too, Pat. He's been shooting really well for them, 40%, and he's averaging 12 a game. That's what you want for your 3-point guys.
yeah. I mean, Duncan's been great. I'm no longer frozen on Cade Cunningham's basketball reference page. So,
That's
uh,
good. That is
let's go.
very
We're
good.
back.
Yeah, and this team is
Um,
they're 27th in the league in 3-point. Oh, eight. Okay, yeah. So they're 18th in the league in 3-point percentage, uh, and they're still doing so good. And this is a team that we know they have guys that can shoot it who aren't really doing it right now. I think the biggest one is Cade, and I do agree, Pat. I think that the inefficiency struggles will turn around. Um, and even though like it's crazy that he's having such a good start to the season, like we mentioned, 27 points per game, and he's shooting so bad and he's still being able to average all these points. I mean, it's a little interesting when you go 14 for 45 and then you end up still getting 46 points. But I mean, I think that he can obviously turn this around. We've seen him be an efficient scorer in the past. We've seen him being able to knock down the three ball at a much better rate than this, also in the past. So I wouldn't be too I wouldn't be too worried just yet.
yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, even like, I'm sure if you normalize, like, I'd imagine he's shooting way less on like I'm gonna see if his shot profile has significantly changed. Okay, yeah, so he's shooting a lot more like non-assisted three-point attempts. Last year was 57%. This year it's only a third of his shots. So that's significantly down. His two-pointers were, they weren't assisted normally anyway, and they're still not. But yeah, I mean, less assisted three-point attempts is the only reason I would point towards his efficiency, maybe like not completely rebounding, but I do think he has gotten better. Like, for instance, he's getting to the free throw line a lot more this season. He's able to get all the way to the rim a lot more. And like last season, his free throw rate was about 22%. Um, yeah, it was about 25%. This year, it's up to 35%. And that's good. He's still shooting around the same amount of three-point attempts at the same rate as he was before, and then at the rim he's finishing about the same. Yeah, he's still finishing about the same at the rim and taking about the same amount of shots. It's just he's getting less assisted three-point attempts. It's just the key with his inefficiency, relative inefficiency so far. Um, if I had to guess, that will rebound a little bit once he gets some like, they get more of their scoring back. I would assume that rebounds a little bit. And then for the Pistons fans who love to cry about foul baiting, he is averaging his free throw rate is higher than Jalen Brunson's was last season. So there's that. It's going to be a great playoff series, I hope. Um, Hopefully we get there. Um, yeah. What do we got? Anything else on Detroit? If we wax poetic?
I'm good. I'm good. I've
Yeah.
said all my things. I think once Danis Jenkins is mentioned.
Yeah. Jared Goff had a rough game last night.
Here we go.
I don't know if they want us to talk about that though.
No, we should probably stay away from that topic.
It was a windy game, so it's not Jared Goff's fault.
Eagles are frauds. They're the most boring team to watch in the league.
For the fans who are a Commanders.
Yeah, but still, I mean, come on. You score six
uh,
points just because golf threw interceptions on the 20-yard line, pretty much. It's crazy.
that was a very rough primetime game to
Yeah.
watch. It was quite terrible. Um, we'll move forward. Oh wow, forgot about this section. The finally free section. Willie Green. This was hilarious. The New Orleans Pelicans showed up. I don't know who, but somebody showed up to his office one morning and said, Willie, if you don't win tonight, we are going to fire you. And he has since been fired. I don't remember. Do you know if they won that night or if he was fired after their next loss?
I think they. I don't think they won that night. I think he. But I do think he was fired after the next loss. I think they gave him two games.
The social media reaction, they didn't like that, so they needed another loss to validate their feelings. How do we have anything besides that about how hilarious this was?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can really say is the players hated him, and just unfortunate.
Yeah, he'll probably get an assistant coaching job somewhere here in a year or so. Shout out to Willie Green. He did manage the only good Pelican season that didn't have Anthony Davis or Chris Paul. So shout out to that. But that was 2 years ago now, and that was only an eight-seeded team, even though they won
Who
48
was on
games. I
that
think
team?
Zion played a lot that year, was kind of the key, and Brandon Ingram
Oh,
was
okay.
their only healthy player in the
Oh,
playoffs.
I remember that. Didn't they play the Lakers or
Thunder.
something? The Thunder. Oh, okay, maybe I don't remember
They
that.
played the Lakers in the play-in, I think, is what it was.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. And then they went up against the Thunder with no Zion because Zion got hurt against the Lakers.
Yeah.
And Brandon Ingram had probably one of the worst playoff series
Yeah, I remember that now.
from like a number one scoring option ever because he was guarded by Lou Dort and he was not their number one player all season. So quite rough, quite rough. Should we talk about Brandon Ingram's current team? Or are we going to blackball the Raptors? I would be perfectly fine blackballing the Raptors.
Yeah. Why is that?
Not really. I mean, we can give them their brief section. I believe they're on unless it was recently broken, they were on a 5-game win streak. They started the year pretty rough. Their offense has been a lot better. Their defense is about where it was last season, and yeah, I mean they've just been off to a good start. I think the key for them is Scotty Barnes is shooting the ball well. Again, he's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. He was sneakily like pretty bad scoring the ball last season. That's been a bounce back. Brandon Ingram's had a rough shooting start to the season, but he's been so efficient inside the 3-point line, and he's been quite solid. Emmanuel quickly has been playing games. RJ Barrett always plays games, and we'll see if he ends up becoming valuable for them. But yeah, I imagine that covered basically everything you have on Toronto.
Yeah, their offense is off to such a good start. They're fifth in the league right now offensively. So
Wait, my oh yeah, okay. So RJ Barrett has a minus 13 on off. It's like, no way I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, when he's negligible, like he doesn't matter for their offense, and RJ Barrett is off the floor, they have a 106 defensive rating, which I think would be second in the league.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like they could have used a really good 3-and-D wing instead of RJ Barrett, like OG Anunoby. I don't know.
yeah, they really could have. Um, Shit, they could have used Jamison Battle over RJ Barrett, or I
Ooh,
don't know, somebody else. Oshai Abaji or Grady Dick. They could have used one of those guys over RJ Barrett. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's enough Raptors for the day. Nico was fired.
thank
Um,
God.
I told you about this. I'd spoken to the CEO of the Mavericks at an event the day before they were fired, and or the day before Nico was fired, and this CEO Rick Welts was weirdly like, I don't know, like was very weirdly hinting about how they had serious regrets about the Luka Doncic trade, and I was like, that's kind of weird. I wouldn't expect somebody to say that, and then 12 hours
Wait,
later, we get the Shams tweet that
you actually
Nico.
saw him?
Yeah, I actually spoke to him at an event.
What? Are you
Yeah.
bullshitting me right now?
No, I'm not. He was a 9 a.m. panel speaker.
Oh, wow. How interesting.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You know you, Pat. I can never tell with you. Go
yeah. Oh, sorry. I gotta quit the sarcasm. Because then they will never know about, how we want Tumani Kamara in the All-Star game. Um, they'll never realize that I'm not joking about that.
Yeah.
But Nico's fired. Do we have any final comments about Nico
I
Harris?
we've spoken on Nico a lot on this podcast. I think we're good.
Number two in all-time playoff points per game, Luka Doncic, only behind Michael Jordan. That's enough. Here we are with November 10th. Was quite a day for NBA basketball. We had Spurs versus Bulls at the very start of the night. That was a great game. It was capped off by a Wembanyama blocked shot into a Wembanyama isolation step back three that did
Gross.
not hit the rim whatsoever. That thing
Gross.
went straight through the net. Um, and then right after that, I turn on Bucks, Mavericks, or no, I turn on Cavs, Heat. That game was in overtime. Um, Donovan Mitchell grabs a offensive rebound while straddling the sideline, go running to the corner, turns around, shoots a fadeaway three, goes straight through. Heat call a timeout. They run a fake elevators screen for, I believe, Norman Powell because he's been shooting the lights out to start the year. And Andrew Wiggins slips it wide open dunk for the game winner. That was awesome. And then Bucks Mavericks was on after that. Cooper Flag gets tripped inadvertently, and I can't. I think it was Amir Coffey ends up getting the breakaway dunk on the other end. And that basically secured the win for them. And then this Magic Trailblazers game also happened. Didn't watch this one live, but yeah, Desmond Bain hits an insane shot for game in that game, and that was a crazy game winner. It was literally the Palo shot from earlier the year, except Desmond Bain made it. So
And the play was ran for Paolo too.
yes,
I
it
don't
all
know.
comes full circle.
And Paolo is definitely gonna miss that shot if he was gonna take it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Where do you? I'm pretty sure I talked to you about it, and you actually. This was a day where you didn't watch any NBA, which is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I saw the main two. I saw the Heat Cavs one. That was insane. That little's like him breaking away on that, like just running. He was just running free. Wiggins. He slipped like behind the defense pretty much. That's the play I call every time in 2K, and usually I miss on that lob. So, zero point 0.4 seconds left. Everyone knows that's enough time to get the shot up. Just such a well executed play by Spoelstra. Great pass, even better finish. And then the Desmond Bain shot was crazy. Like the only thing Desmond Bain's really done this year for the Magic, he's really been struggling, but um, yeah, he still got the dub. Um, and then yeah, the Wemby isolation step back three was like that's crazy. How like it's just not fair. It's not fair.
Not at all. Not at all fair. Um, yeah, I mean, this was a crazy day of games. I believe there's also a Hawks Clippers game that was a 3-point decision at the end of it. Like what a day to
Yeah,
be alive.
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we have a breakout stars section. If there's anything here that you want to speak on, any of these teams, okay, we'll go to the breakout stars section because I got a couple. All right. Jalen Johnson has been super awesome. The other night he recorded like a once ever recorded game with
Damn near
31,
quadruple
18, and
double.
14 and 7 steals. He's been super awesome this season. You know, we've been talking about Jalen Johnson forever, and he's taking a step forward. His name does not have a Y. Yeah, yeah, for context, his assists are up this season. He's averaging 6 a game. His efficiency, hasn't taken a hit. It's actually gotten better as his usage has increased this season. I've really liked what I've seen from Jalen Johnson for like the past 3 years, and as long as he just stays healthy, this guy will make an All-Star game this season, 100%. His efficiency is through the roof right now. His usage is up to about 25, and his true shooting is 66 right now, while assisting 6 times a game and being a great defensive player and rebounder. So he's been super awesome. The Hawks 5-0 without Trae Young in the starting lineup, at least in a 5-game stretch. Um, that's been interesting. I saw some Trae Young for John Morant trades being proposed. What do you think about that idea?
John Moran for Trey Young trades. Yeah, I think uh, it's
I'll
so
give
weird.
the
It's so
Yeah, I'll
weird.
give the comparison. It's like we get on here and we're talking. I'm like, yeah, my student loans are kicking my ass, and you're like, yo, mine too, and we just trade our student loans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't like. I was thinking. I mean, I was thinking about like where John Morant could like end up. And I was thinking like Miami maybe, but I don't know if he can. I don't know if he'll fit in that offense. I really don't see how he can fit in that offense.
I got a great answer.
Ooh, Orlando.
We talked about the player that he would get traded for.
Who?
Straight swapping spots in the starting lineup with RJ Barrett.
Ooh. That would make Toronto maybe a contender, quickly off
Maybe
the bench.
quickly. I mean, shit, just start quickly, I guess. And let him go back to defensive, uh,
Yeah, let
like a
Trey handle
defensive
everything.
demon.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's not let's see if the Trey Young stuff is real. But I would definitely agree that there might be some proof in this pudding because he's had a bad start to the season.
hmm I think so too. And then John Morant's been like atrocious to start the year. It's been really bad. Um, I mean, we talked about it last time. We'll not harp on it too much more. We got some more breakout stars. Jaden McDaniels has been great to start the season. He's averaging over 17 a game, which is like
Wow.
it doesn't sound that crazy, but
But
when you
for
combine that with how good Jaden Daniels is, or Jaden
well, with
McDaniels is,
Jaden Daniels mentioned,
yeah, it's not the time to mention Jaden Daniels,
no,
unfortunately.
no, no. All right, let's move on.
When you talk about how good Jaden McDaniels is defensively, averaging almost 18 a game is crazy. He's shooting 50% from the 3-point line. His free throw percentage is up throughout the season. He's just been really good this season. Um, you look, the Wolves are a pretty good defense still. Um, I mean, I've really liked what I've seen from him. He looks better attacking off the bounce than he ever really had. Um, he is probably like the third best player on the team right now. I would say behind Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. Um, they've just been really, really good. I've liked what I've seen from McDaniels, and then Modest Bazelis. A lot of this was over the past, section of weeks, but he's been really good. The Bulls have been a good offense, bad defense so far this season. Quickly, I'll pull up exactly where they are in those spots right now. That's the Hornets. That's not the Bulls. They're 6-6 with the 17th offense and the 19th defense. So I mean, their offense isn't even good anymore. It's cratered even more. Even with that 150 point game the other night. But yeah, Modest has been really good. He's averaged 15, 6. Obviously, the assists are going to need to come up. But and then, he's shooting well so far to start the season. He's creating more off the bounce. Uh, Individually, I think his usage is up a good bit. My one concern with him is let's get to the line a little bit more, big fella. You're 3 a game. Let's see that go up a little bit. And then defensively, he has a +10 swing on defense on a team that's been terrible defensively. Um, yeah, I mean, they have a 113 defensive rating when he's on the floor, which is pretty respectable. When he's off the floor, they have a 123 defensive rating, which I think would be the worst in the league. And that's pretty impressive to see that from a young wing player. Some of that's going to be some just shooting uh, luck throughout the very early parts of the season, but it's good to see that to start. Did you have any other stars or anything you wanted to comment on these breakout stars?
I mean, you pretty much talked about everything. I think the biggest one I would have to add is Amen Thompson. He's been doing really good for Houston. He's looking like he might run away with that MIP. Um, that MIP, or honestly, it might be Sengun. I guess I'll go ahead and talk about Sengun as well because Sengun has been having an amazing year. If you looked at the game last night, they gave him the ball, got him with that little hook shot. I think his offense has been really good this year. His rebounding has really been good, and his passing too. Literally a baby Jokic. He's been doing good on defense too. And then Amen Thompson, he's been able to play make. Like he's scoring really well. As like he's averaging 17 points per game, 5 assists. The shot is still struggling, but he's still being an effective NBA player. And the Rockets are really good right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with Sengun, but also a good bit part of it has to do with Amen Thompson being able to step in and fill in that point guard role.
They have the number one offense in the league. Still, we talked about it last time. Still at 125.3. A lot of that's their offensive rebounding. They rebound extremely well on that end. They're parking 2 guys by the basket. I think they've done a better job having shooters and cutters play off Şengün post ups. And, my hater check in on Kevin Durant. I guess we're going to do it every other week. Um, Currently, as it stands, he has a positive on off. So I'm the idiot with egg on my face. Um, but yeah, I mean, they've been really good. I think Şengün is like a lock to like make the All Star game, and I would not be surprised if he's an All NBA guy. Um, he's been amazing. Yeah, you ready to move forward?
Yeah.
All right, I think this is the MVP ladder. Sheldon, you last season, you gave us an MVP ladder basically every time we did this. And this is the first one of the year. I'm excited. I gave you the extra 2 weeks so you didn't have to put Austin Reeves at first.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
yeah, even though he's still been great, he's only averaging 27 a game now instead of 33. So you're not entitled to put him on the list. So MVP ladder, start from 5. Just give the elevator pitch, and we'll see what we end up seeing.
All right, Pat. Well, with some recent news of Wemby's injury and him being out a couple weeks, several weeks with the hamstring or calf strain, I'm gonna leave him off. I'm gonna leave him off. He was gonna be my 5. So that means moving in, I have Donovan Mitchell at the 5 spot. MVP Donnie. I'm calling for it this season. He always plays like he's on the bubble, kind of like that first team out for the MVP ladder. Averaging 30, 5 and 4, shooting 38% from the field, 49% from the or 38% from the three, 49% from the field. Um, I think he's been doing really good this year. I mean, he's their go-to guy on the stretch, especially with Garland missing as much time as he has, and even coming back not being the same player he's yet yet to be. Only played 3 games, so. But I think Donovan Mitchell has been doing really good and leading this Cavs team, doing really good stuff offensively. Number 4. Oh, who did I have at 4? Wait, I'm blanking. Man, you started going live and now I'm all messed up.
It's a cold world.
Dang.
Okay, you can go to 1, and I'll try to figure out who you had at 4.
Wait.
I think I have your top 3. I would guess
I
I
have
have
my
your top
top
3.
3. I forgot who I was gonna have at. Oh, I'm tweaking. 4. I have at 4. I have. Wait, what is? Oh yeah. Okay, I am tweaking. 4. I have Giannis. I have Giannis at 4. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know what was going on with my going on in my head. I kept forgetting Luka Doncic. Yeah,
Okay.
spoiler alert, he's going to be on there at some point. But he's having another great season. Giannis is. He's averaging 32 and 11, 63% from the field. You saw the game winner against Indiana, I think that was. I mean, just kind of shows like how his game has evolved to not just like a drive and dunk kind of guy. He has the ability to shoot the 2-pointer, like the mid range, when he needs to. Um, and he's shooting the ball well from 3, but I doubt that's on any crazy attempts per game, shooting 50%. But I think Giannis is just he's carrying this Bucks team to a pretty respectable record at 8-6. The kind of magic has cooled down from the other players, but Giannis averaging 32, 7, and 11. I definitely think that he's worthy of that 4 spot, which means at 3 I have Luka the Don Doncic. Um, well, it's going to be an ongoing battle the whole season between Luka and Shea, I think. But for now, I have Luka at 4, averaging 34, 8, and 8. Um, I mean, every time Luka goes out there, he balls. Really good. Like not only is he able to shoot, not only is he able to score, not only is he able to get to the paint, he's able to draw fouls really well and make in ones. He's great at doing that in the mid range and in the post. I think his ability to assist and get those triple double numbers as well has him at 4, and the rebounding too. He's averaging 9 a game. So. Um, or 8, yeah, pretty much 9 a game. So I have him at my 3 spot, which means at 2 I have Shea, Gilgis, Alexander. Not too much I need to say. We kind of talked about it in the not in the first slide of the episode. He's averaging 32, 6, and 5. He's barely playing in fourth quarters, which I think is even crazier. Because imagine, I think this happened last year too, where he wasn't playing in a lot of fourth quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, here it is. 456 most points this season, 456 points by Shea, 404 by Shea without fourth quarters. He's only scored 50 points in the fourth quarter, and he's second in the league behind himself, and then third is Tyrese Maxey. So I think that Shea has been doing incredible. He's been able to shoot the 3 ball really well this season too. He's been able to drive. He's so crafty and like going down the line, a game coming down the line, game coming down to the end, whatever. I don't think you want the ball in anyone else's hands but Shea. It's just to hit that elbow jumper from the mid range. We saw it in the first game. He hit it like 4 times to kind of close out the Rockets. That means at 1, I have, of course, Nikola Jokic. He's probably held this number 1 spot for the most weeks out of anyone. I think I've had him at 1, even going back to the old days when we first started. But 28, 10, and 13, we talked about how great he was doing. He's shooting so well, too, 42%. We talked about some of the crazy numbers he's been putting up. scoring wise. I think a big thing is he's just scoring the ball a lot this season. Like I said, 28 per game, and recently that's been picking up. So, official list I have Jokic, Shea, Luca, Giannis, and Donovan Mitchell. Sorry about that little mess up. A lot going on up here. I totally just blinked.
Well, you had to make the last second change because Wemby is out, which you
Yes,
broke
yeah,
the news to me
yeah.
because it was announced an hour ago. So wow, that's really rough. I was actually looking through some numbers today, and Wemby's just been so fantastic, and yeah, I mean
I
that's really
think we're
rough.
gonna see a Spurs like maybe a 3 game losing streak maybe coming up soon here, but they'll get back on track.
Yeah, how
He's gonna be out
sidelined
several weeks.
indefinitely.
Yeah, because they're just gonna take it. They're gonna take their time with them. They're gonna
Yeah,
wait till he's 100% healthy.
2 to 3 weeks. So they'll probably play about 12 games over that stretch, I would think. I don't know their strength of schedule over the next 12 games, but I would imagine they probably go like 3-9. Uh, their their all around roster is not good still around Wemby. No, they could get it together, but even like De'Aaron Fox wasn't great in the first couple games back. Um, so we are now going to my list. Let's
Ooh.
go. The rookie graduations. So what this is are you I'll read off the requirements in order to graduate, and then I'll explain what graduating means. Number one requirement is I believe you will not be garbage. The number two requirement, you are a rookie. And three, you have secured a long-term starting role in the NBA. This is basically, have you graduated from being a question mark to somebody who I do think is going to be good? This is not like a rookie of the year ladder. This is not anything like that. This is, have you graduated from me still not sure about what you are, or not sure if you will be good, essentially. Um, so I do have a couple of graduates. I wasn't expecting to necessarily
Oh
have
wow.
that many last week when I mentioned it. I think I said that I wasn't really expecting to graduate that many people, but I do have four in the initial graduation class of the 2025 rookies. Here they are: Cooper Flagg, Colin Knippel, Colin Murray Boyles, and Cedric Howard. Been quite an interesting start to all of their careers. Cooper Flagg, I think I was going to graduate regardless of how he started his NBA career. Really weird start to the year. He's playing point guard, and I read the stats off since November 5th. He's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 stocks. He's shooting 48% from the field. He's looked a lot better after his first week of the his NBA career was not great. He should not have been playing point guard. He's like somebody who should be playing the power forward position, but they fired their general manager. Well known great GM Nico Harrison. Colin Knippel's been off to a great start to the season. I am graduating him because his 3-point shooting is obviously very good. We've seen him so far in the NBA. He looks amazing playing off of other offensive players. Uh, we already expected that to be the case, and then he looks more effective off the bounce than I really expected him to be initially. So I think he's been good. I think the defense is like kind of a sticking point to where like how good is the actual defense. We're not really sure yet. For what it's worth, his on off this season on defense is a +9. So, that's pretty good. Um, yeah, I think I think he's just a good player, and that's what this graduating class is supposed to symbolize. Colin Murray Boyles is the next guy to graduate. I know I was higher than you on Murray Boyles, but uh, why can I not? Murray. Okay, jeez. He's
Murr.
yeah. Okay. There was just so many Murrays that he didn't pop up. Um, do you want to take a guess who he's shooting from the 3-point line?
Guess what he's shooting from the 3 point line?
Yeah,
CMB. 39%.
50%.
Wow. How many attempts?
1.8 a game. So, like, not insane volume, but he's off to a pretty good start in his NBA career as a shooter. Um, I don't think a absolute garbage shooter, which is what he was in college. He was a garbage shooter in college. I don't think somebody who's like a long-term garbage shooter has that good of a start to their NBA career. I think there's still an opportunity for him to just he's probably going to be like a career 31% three-point shooter, but I don't think he's a garbage shooter based off of this start to the season. Um, he's been a pretty impactful player, getting steals and blocks. I think if you go to the advanced section, I mean, it's a 2% block and steal rate so far. He's assisting a little bit. He has very low usage so far, but he's been solid. He looks good for Toronto. They've been pretty decent, like we mentioned, unwillingly. We're forced to talk about the Raptors because we advertise that we talk about all the teams. We actually hate talking about them. The offense hasn't been great when he's on the floor, but he is helping them defensively. I just he's somebody who I think will be able to switch into a bunch of different types of lineups. Obviously, this thing can be pretty fluid. I typically don't want to remove somebody from the previous graduating class, but if I need to, we can. And then the final graduate is Cedric Coward, because he has been off to a great start of his NBA career. Um, he's averaging 14 a game so far, which is more than I really thought he would average throughout, his first 6 years in his NBA career. I didn't really think of him to be a great scoring prospect, but yeah, I mean, in college he was a great scorer. It's worth saying, but he's averaging 14 a game. He's rebounding the ball well. He's assisting pretty well. He's shooting the rock very well at 37%. He started one game so far with Memphis. I have a feeling that's going to change here pretty soon because Cedric Howard's been great. He's been impactful. Uh, I see a long term, like great NBA wing here with Cedric Howard. If not, like we talked about, I don't know, he can be Dorian Finney-Smith right away, and that's pretty damn good. He's been a positive on offense and defense so far this season for Memphis, who has been atrocious. But yeah, way to go, Cedric Howard. Did any of these graduates surprise you, or any admissions of graduates?
Maybe I just haven't been watching the Raptors, so CMB I think's the only one. But that's just not being really tapped in. I think all three of these guys, though, the other guys, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and then the one big admission, obviously, is VJ Edgecombe. It was an amazing first week of his NBA career, and then it's been quite poor since then. And I think the one reason I had to admit him from this graduating class is one of my biggest concerns from him that existed in college, which is he cannot make layups still. I mean, it's concerning. If you look at his field goal percentage at the rim, it's under 60%. That's relatively low. He's really, really athletic, so you wouldn't expect that to be the case, but it's just consistently been the case for him. Um, and he's even somebody with a ton of dunks so far in his career. So I would imagine on layups he's shooting about probably like 50%. So uh, that's we're giving it more time on VJ Edgecombe. I'm definitely not out on him because the shots looked even better than I anticipated. But yeah, we're just gonna give it some time. I this that might have been, yeah, that is technically the last slide we got here, but we can talk more about anything that we want to.
I don't know. I think the only thing I wanted to say was that Wemby thing. So
I'll have to add that one to the My League.
Oh, but how am I going to trade Chris Middleton and CG McCollum for him
You're just gonna have to wait.
then?
Gotta hope they don't ruin their trade value. They're already ruined trade value. Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I was talking briefly at the very start about the upcoming draft class of, as the bigger college basketball enthusiasts. Is there any input?
That Caleb Wilson kid from North Carolina, he's looking really good. He went like head to head with Darren Peterson. Um, I haven't been able to. I didn't get to watch much of the AJ Demanstas. I watched the Tahad Pettiford. I don't know what if he's is he a guy that's being mentioned.
He's he was
I would
popping up in mock drafts last year,
like
and he still is like a
late
first
first
round.
round maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of underwhelmed. Oh,
We still okay. Internet bugging. Okay. Um, yeah. Obviously, I'm not as big of a college basketball. On a day-to-day basis, I don't watch as much college hoops, but I've been really wanting to catch some Darren Peterson and Cam Boozer and Bansa, and I'll probably get in a little bit of watching those guys. Before the season ends. But other than that, I mean, we pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover throughout the day, or throughout this episode. Unless Sheldon is already back in, all right, I'll probably just send him a message that we're gonna wrap it up here. I think this has been an excellent NBA season. I got a Knicks game coming on in about 30 minutes. Gonna enjoy that one for sure. Um, yeah. Oh, Sheldon's here. All right. I'll let him hop in. I added. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You've been invited to the stage. Actually, I have no idea how that looks like on the other end. um. Oh, there we are.
all right. I was gonna. Sorry, my computer died. Fahad Pettiford. I was gonna say, not very impressed so far. First game of the season though, and the first game I watched was against the number one ranked team in the country. Um, so that makes sense. I don't know if Braden Smith is supposed to be coming out this year. Can you hear me, Pat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if Braden Smith is supposed to be. It should be his last year. He should be going to the draft soon. But he's looking like a really great point guard. Like he plays with really good pace. He can knock down threes, really good assist stuff as well, playmaking stuff. I like him a lot, and he showed up against Alabama. Cameron Boozer is disgusting. He's so damn big, Pat. Like playing against these college kids, it's like you can tell he's league ready. So definitely keep your eye on Duke, and I'll when I'm watching basketball this week, college basketball, I try to keep an eye out or maybe look up who some of the guys are supposed to be so I can get a little bit better evaluation for you next time. But yeah, Caleb Wilson, Boozer, um, Braden Smith, all those guys are really good.
Yeah. I'm wanting to watch some live. I was talking about it while you were loading in. I'm wanting to watch some more of these guys live, so I'm not only watching them during catch up scouting. Um, I think I've heard a lot of great things about the Bansa Boozer and uh, Peterson. I think they're all, and like what I've seen from them is all like really great stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for this upcoming draft. I don't think we're gonna do any in season mock drafts. I think we're gonna leave that to after the NBA season rolls. But yeah, I'm sure at least knowing about these guys at the top will help us talk about, oh wow, this team is completely blown it up to tank for Caden Boozer or AJ DeBanza. We'll have plenty to talk about there. Some teams have already blown it up to take for these guys. Um,
The
Mi-
Wizards. We
Michael
lost the
Porter Jr.
Nets, so the season's officially over.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. We're gonna give him his shout out. He had 7 assists, 0 turnovers the other day. So uh, shout out to him.
Swinging the rock this year.
Yeah. Unless you have anything else, we're gonna wrap it up on that note. All right. So Thursday,
I'm good.
we'll probably do Thursday around the same time, like around 10 again, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thursday around 10, we'll do our first couple months, maybe in the game of our 2K save.
Now we're
Uh,
gonna play for 2 months straight.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna play for 2 months straight. This is a Kai Cenat stream. Let's go.
We're gonna be in year like 3042.
Yeah, one
I'll
of
finally get my first winning season.
all the bad karma from the tanking. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. We'll see you guys later.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no way for me to not go live. So I'll text you in a second.